We would have this conversation off the air, but I think we should do this on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi, streaming at supertalk.fm, supertalktv.com. Normally we discuss guests that might join us as, hey, is this a good idea? Should we go down this road? Should we reach out to this? Hey, have you got a contact here? Have you got a contact there? As a result of having this job for an extended period of time, I've somehow gotten on lots of email lists. And so at least once a day, I get a suggestion for a guest. And I'm going to say that in the last 5 years, maybe 3 or 4 times, I've actually followed up to one of these emails. I'm like, hey, yeah, can we have Bill Murray on? Or whatever. Obviously, I would follow up to Bill Murray. I don't think I've had that extended. But Sierra sends me a message with a guest opportunity. Sierra says, hi there. Hope this finds you well. Thanks, Sierra. Reaching out as we have the pleasure of representing Brazilian supermodel Marianne Fonseca, who is gearing up to launch her own Brazilian-inspired line of skin and body care products later this year. In the lead up to the launch, I'd love to see if you'd be interested in having Marianne share her self-care routine of how she makes healthy, radiant skin from the inside out. Any interest? Stop your Google search right now, hey, Dad.
Can we get her in studio? When we're all down there? My goodness.
Honestly, hearing you try to talk skincare with a Brazilian model would be electric radio.
It really would.
You know what my first question would be?
What does the word exfoliate mean to you?
What does it mean?
Yeah, no, like literally, what does it mean? I don't know.
Marianne, what suggestions would you have for a 41-year-old guy who's probably had too much exposure to the sun and bringing his skin back to life?
It would be even better to get her take on sports questions. Like just the latest news.
But I actually do have a question. If Marianne Fonseca were to join us, maybe it's Fonseca.
It doesn't matter.
At what point, like, is there a ceremony somewhere along the way where you transition from being just a model to a supermodel?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Perez is going to come in here in the morning and see a very unique search history.
Is he now?
On this computer.
Careful.
What's the difference?
In a model and a supermodel?
Here we go.
You were blocked from seeing this content, Michael Borky.
A supermodel is a highly paid fashion model who has a worldwide... So I guess it's subjective, is what they're saying.
Okay.
It's like the difference between being, a pro bowler and an all-pro. There's a difference.
There absolutely is a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a pop culture term. It's not like a designation you receive. I might just leave this up for Perez, actually.
The email, did it say she's a model or a supermodel?
Brazilian supermodel,
okay.
Marianne Fonseca.
So she's right there with Giselle, is what you're telling me. She's on the same tier? I don't know if I buy that.
No, I don't think anybody is on the same tier with Giselle. But, I mean,
no, man, during the opening ceremonies for the Rio Olympics, remember Olympics, except for China, because they don't, anyway. The Olympics opening ceremony is meant to showcase the best of that country, their culture, their arts, and it is, here is what we have to offer to the world in very nicely rehearsed propaganda. Brazil decided to let Giselle, on her own, by herself, walk from one end of the stadium to the other with lights on her as part of their opening ceremony. There is not another human being on earth that would, hey, what's the best that our country has to offer? Giselle. And just let her walk. And that be like, yeah, I get it.
In fairness, that might be the best any country has to offer is Giselle.
But every person at the top was like, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
She has she's been on the cover of Elle magazine, Harper's Bazaar, Maxim, L'Officiel, and Cosmopolitan, and has she's been a runway model for designers including Dior, Philip Plein, Timberland, and others.
Timberland,
honestly,
like the boots.
Let's say yes, and then when we have her on, so got a big series in the SEC this weekend, Ole Miss at Auburn. What's your take on that?
Like, yeah, we let the guests plug their product, but they have to do the interview. We're not Matt Harveying this thing. That's the second time today I brought that up. But so she has to talk through the sports with us, and then so tell us about your new product line.
Oh no, I think I would go reverse order. I think I would get Marianne. Like we would, talk about it and then say, Marianne, the reality is we are a sports talk show. So
in Mississippi.
Are you in Mississippi, no less? Are you a sports fan?
Mm-hmm.
You said she's
from
a
soccer
Brazil.
fan.
Where is she from?
Brazil.
Could you find Mississippi on a map?
See, Borky, again, here we are again. It's the second time today we've had to go down this road. Some of us want to lift others up and have fun, insightful conversations, and some of us are just looking for a way to make fun of somebody.
It's not making fun. She's from Brazil.
Brazil was on the Worldle the other day, and I got her on the first time.
She still speaks English.
I knew what I was doing.
Okay, a lot of people speak English. Doesn't mean
Surely
they know where
she's
we
smart
sit.
enough to know whether or not she's being made fun of.
I saw a poll today where 30% of America, or excuse me, of those polled, 30% of them think that New York is 30% of the population. People are dumb. People that live here are dumb.
I mean, that's not new.
Only 30.
So it's just like, hey, do you know where if we told you, hey, Mississippi, could you, find us? Because I could find Brazil.
Like, what's the closest you've ever been to Mississippi?
Yeah.
That would be a good question.
Yeah.
Like, have you been to Atlanta or New Orleans for a show?
Nashville.
Big fashion city. Fashion,
Tunica.
we call it. Binions.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Well,
the
only one I ever get is like these people who want to talk about disc golf.
How should I respond? Should I respond to the email or just delete it?
That's probably a delete. I don't think it's gonna work.
I would respond.
Surely you get some of these pitch emails, Borky, for guests on our show.
I do, and it's mostly political, which I mean, bothering me with a phishing email and then talk to this United States representative who is sponsoring this bill on your sports radio show. No, thank you. That bothers me more than the disc golf people.
I get a lot of disc golf people.
I appreciate their tenacity. One of these days, I'm just going to say yes.
Let's do it.
We should. I mean, locally it has interest. Mississippi State won a national championship in disc golf not a few years ago.
I noticed the other day driving down the street that somebody had like a portable disc golf hole, if you will, in their yard. I was like,
nice.
That kind of looks fun. I bet my kids
They just
would like
opened
that.
a disc golf emporium or whatever it is here in Starkville.
Some would call it a course.
No. It's a place it's a store to buy disc golf stuff.
Where you buy discs.
Frisbees, I guess, yeah.
Discs.
So, it's called Disc or That. It's clever. Little free pub there.
I hope their rent is not super high because it seems like that's kind of a niche market. And I can't
very
imagine
niche market. But again, Starkville is the disc golf capital of the world, evidently. National champions in, I think, 2017 or something like that. National champions. Why not?
Ain't the banner.
Mm-hmm.
It's a club sport, though, so, you know.
Somebody suggests that you probably would know the birthplace of Elvis.
I would be willing to bet that a Brazilian supermodel of her age doesn't even know who Elvis is.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
I'm willing to bet.
Borky, this is actually a reasonable question. Can you name an individual state in Brazil?
No, that's what would be funny. If I was on a Brazilian talk show, hey, do you know where we are right now? No, I have no idea where you are. Also, is it a country that has states?
I know 3 cities in Brazil. That's it.
Okay.
That's all I can give you.
Rio doesn't count. What are the other 2?
Sao Paulo and Brasilia.
Brazil has 26 states. Learn something new every day.
It's a country. Of course it has states.
Well, but countries don't necessarily have to have them.
Don't all countries have, like, states or provinces or something?
Not necessarily.
I mean, unless they're, like, really small countries, I guess. Brazil's huge, though.
The
How
Vatican
will the
does
emperor
not
maintain
have-
order
the
without the
Vatican does not have
bureaucracy?
states.
What?
The Vatican does not have states.
The Vatican is as big as my office.
It's also a country.
The vast majority of countries do not have states.
Oh, I'm surprised by that. I'm not going to lie.
We've had multiple people asking us about Texas Day Brazil.
I love Texas Day Brazil.
That does not surprise me in the least.
You say we're going Brazilian steakhouse, buddy. Start the car.
Is it Chucarica? Is that right?
Churrasquia. Churrasquia? I can't pronounce it.
Elvis is bigger overseas than the United States. Chris in Madison says, I guarantee you she does not know who Elvis is.
No chance.